when you look into the literature, you can see religion has positive impact on your level of happiness. But again, there are a lot of contradictions. Some say that it increases your happiness. There is a lot of paradox that it might not increase your happiness, or actually it will depress you. So in this article, I'm trying to investigate this thing, how my research objectives are different from the others are, like what I'm trying to investigate, like what is the actual relationship between religion and happiness in its neighborhood. And the second objective is what are the channels through which religion can affect happiness. So the major objective is to analyze the channels, all the mediators through which religion can mediate its effect to happiness. So here is the slide number 3. And in this slide, I'm presenting the conceptual framework, and in this you can see that independent variable is religion, and the channels through which it will affect happiness are the mental health, political participation, religiosity, social capital, poverty, education, economic prosperity, and ethics. So these 7 channels, these are actually the channels through which religion will mediate. But I'm saying, or what I'm hypothesizing here is that religion is mediating its effect, or it's stimulating happiness via these channels. So to the next slide, here is its core and here is the empirical model that I have investigated, and here what I have the expected, the algorithms are showing the expected signs, and I will discuss later in this presentation. And so how I operationalize these concepts is, the first thing is religiosity. I'm measuring direct impact of religion on happiness by religiosity, and how I'm actually operationalizing is it is by using the variable of church attendance. So what I'm hypothesizing is if a person is attending church more regularly, or he's going to mosque, or in some temple, or in markets, if he's going there regularly, that means it will increase its level of happiness, or he will be more satisfied with his life. The next channel that I'm discussing is the social capital. The social capital is measured in terms of trust that people have on each other, and the social relations with each other, like how they are connected with everyone in a society. Because the level of connection, when you are more connected, you feel more inclusive in that society, and that impression makes you more happy. And when there is more level of trust in a society, like if you can trust more people, that means you are more happy with every interaction. And the next thing is mental health. Mental health is measured by depression, that how much do you feel depressed or not. So if you are more depressed, that it means that the level of happiness in your life is low. And the other channel is ethics, and it is measured by there are 4 indicators for that, and that are the parent state benefit. So in the words where you say that, the question was asked that whether they say that the giving state benefit is more beneficial, it's the right thing, or if we need to avoid fare on public transport, or avoid tax or break, is that a good thing or not? So using these questions, I constructed a variable for ethics. And so when you stick in higher, the value shows that ethics are strong in your society, and lower the value, that means that if the value is low, that means that ethics are low. And no ethics will show that if in economy people have low values, that will make people less happy, less happy. And next is politics. So politics shows the political participation of each member in the society. Here it is measured in terms of voting turnout and economic prosperity. Economic prosperity is measured as GDP growth rate, and poverty alleviation is measured in terms of poverty head count ratio at national poverty line, and it is $190 in our case. And the dependent variable is happiness, and it is measured as the level of happiness or how happy do you feel. It's over the Likert scale between 1 to 10. 10 shows that you are more happy, and 1 shows you are less happy. And the control variables for which I'm using the urbanization, health, investment, government expenditures, inflation, and literacy. So now the urbanization variable I don't know that whether the location, the neighborhood in which you are living is matters or not. It's like rural living in society, in a city, whether you feel more happy than being in a rural society, rural area. So next is for the data. The data is secondary, and it includes all the developed and developing countries. And I will use the system GMM as a technique to estimate the urban integration equations, because it is there are chances that my integration equation is suffering from the issue of heterogeneity or heteroscedasticity to develop variables and also system GMM, so that the results are less spurious. So now to slide 9. Here, what we can see is the relationship between religiosity and happiness. What we can see from here is that happiness is positively linked with overall all the indicators of religiosity, like whether you believe in God, or if you are a religious person, or you are believing in hell, or you are believing in heaven, or you are attending church more regularly. That all indicators shows that in general, the higher is the level of religiosity in a society, the more happy will be that society. And the next here I'm discussing the model 1, that is our main model, and in this we can see the dependent variable is happiness. So main variable of interest is attendance at the religious place. What we can see from here is that if we increase religious attendance by 1%, it will increase your level of happiness by 0.6, and it is significant. And so from here, but I can say that religion has a positive effect on religiosity. If you are more religious, that means you are more happy. And when you look at the physical health, like whether you are feeling good, or do you believe your health is good enough, like that means that if you are enjoying a good health, that means that you will be more happy. The other thing is your neighborhood, like urbanization. What we can see from our migration equation in model 1 is that urbanization is negatively associated with happiness. So here is a point, like we should think like why if you are living in a city, what are the reasons, like why people feel like they are less happy. One thing could be like, because when you are living in a big cities, the connectivity between the people, the ethics, or the level of poverty, the things are different. So there are all these factors will ultimately reflect in your level of happiness. So you will see in my future models that I have estimated that through all these models, what I seen is that urbanization is negatively associated with the level of happiness. So if you are living in a big city, that means you are comparatively less happier than those people that are living in rural areas. So next is my first channel, that is the ethics and religion. And what we can see from here is that in general, people that are religious, they have more better ethics. So I'm not going into detail due to constraint of my time. And so in general, we can see from whether you are claiming state benefit or not. If you are more religious, that you will not claim, you'll feel that it's not good to claim state benefit or avoid tax or give bribe. Or the other thing is the work important. Like, how do you feel like work is important or not? So most of the people that are religious, they will see that work is important in their life. Here is the ethics and then happiness. So previously what we have seen is that in the positive association with religiosity and ethics, the more religious you are, that means the more ethical you will be. And the next is the ethics, relation of ethics with happiness. So if you are more ethical or your ethics are very strong, then most probably you will be more happy. Here is the model that is actually analyzing the impact of ethics on happiness and how they are the effect of religion on happiness. So what we can see from here is, it's model 2, and you can see third column, like it has, when you look at directly at the variable of church attendance, you can see that it becomes less significant, or you can say it's insignificant, and its value, the magnitude of the coefficient, have decreased manifold, maybe 70% by, because more than 70%. So from here, what I can say is that when the ethics, religion is mediating its effect through ethics, and because the size of the coefficient is decreasing, and when we are putting in the ethics variable in the main equation, that is equation 1, it is making the religiosity, that is attendance at religious place, less significant. And we can say that although in itself ethics are not positively linked with happiness, but it is decreasing the significance of religiosity. So when next we will go to the next channel, here it is the poverty, religion and happiness. What we can see here is that if you are more religious, if you belong to some religious organization, and attendance at worship place, you are more poor. So it's not this way. We can interpret this like if you are poor, there are more chances that you will go to the mosque or you will go to the church for your internal satisfaction, or you will find peace in religion, and that's why the more poor you are, there are more chances that you will go to the church or you are more religious. But when we look at this data, what we can see is like if you are poor and also religious, then chances are that you are more happy. So you can see here the positive sign here, positive relation between happiness and poverty. So here now what I did is that I estimated equation 3, like keeping my first I'm keeping my first regression here so that we can know whether the my channels are getting its effect or not. So what I can see from here is that in itself, poverty elevation, it is decreasing the significance of religiosity. So what we can see is that initially the coefficient was 0.65, but now it's 0.54. So we can see from here, like it is the religiosity to happiness. How actually what happened in this poverty alleviation case is, like when you are poor but you are also religious, then there are always system in your society, like there are some safety nets that actually give you protection against shocks. Like if you are poor and you feel there are some sort of health shock, or there are, if you have lost your job, or there are sudden increase in the price due to which you are just below the poverty line. And so in that situation, what usually how usually religion helps you is that you are connected with the church, or you may be in the mosque. So you have more connection with other people, and they can they in that way you can get help from them. Like you will have more access to other people that actually gives you some sort of help. Like because why they will, the question is why they will help you. And again, that if you will go into the Bible, or you will see the Quran, or you will see all the other religious books, now you will see that in all the literature, God is actually emphasizing on helping poor, like always take care of poor. Like the case of Islam, there are system of zakat, khairat, or in Christianity, you usually what you do is you they are promoting also charity. So through these things, like you are the religion is actually eliminating poverty in your in your society or in the neighborhood. And in that way, actually when you are giving someone something, like and they have something to eat or to wear, or they are fulfilling their desires by the help of the other people in your in your society, so it will make them a bit more happier. So next is the political participation. In a society where there are different type of people, and that belong to different ethnicity, they have different languages, or different they have different races, or stuff like that. And in that scenario, the social political participation is very important. Political participation, if there's more political participation, that shows that you have the right to say, you have freedom to express your opinion. So in that case, if you are more religious means here is you are going to church more frequently. And when you are going to church more frequently, there are more chances that you are you belong to some religious organizations, and there are chances that you will more participate in political activities, and the vote is more important to you. So if you are more expressive towards political decisions, that will ultimately that you have that confidence that you can contribute something, or you can raise your voice, and your opinion matters. This will make you happy. When I regress this political participation, what we can see from here is that it is positively linked with the happiness. So if the political participation is increased by 1%, it will increase your level of happiness by 0.17%. And when we look at the attendance at religious place, or maybe the religiosity at basically religiosity, what we can see that its sign has reduced from magnitude has reduced, like that is from 0.65 to 0.43. So we can say that roundabout there is a 20% decrease in the coefficient of religiosity. So from here we can see that the political participation itself has a significant impact on your level of happiness, and it's also mediating the effect of religiosity on your happiness. Next channel is the social, here it is social capital, religion and happiness. What we can see from here, so how I'm measuring social capital, it is by the level of trust that I've mentioned before as well, and the belongingness to some religious organizations. That means the more connected you are, the more level of trust in your society, the more happier you will be. And you can see this from the graphs here. And next is the model 5. In this model, what I did that I actually incorporated, I'm taking trust and belongingness to a religious organization. And what I can see from here is that it is making religiosity less significant, and that is a sign or that indicates that it is a true mediator of religion. Like religion do mediates its impact from by the channel of social capital. What I can see from here is that the trust and belongingness to the religious organization, although it is positively associated with a level of happiness, but they are not significant. So next is the religion and economic growth or economic prosperity. Here I measured the economic development by GDP growth rate, and you can see that if you are more religious, or that means that there are chances that you will work more because there are and so there's a positive average. What you can see from here is there is a positive association between religion and economic growth. So next slide here, what you can see is that economic development has a positive relation with happiness. So if you are financially well off, you have wealth. This is the one factor, and it's a very important factor, and it enhances actually your happiness. So you feel more content and more satisfied if you have more wealth or level of development in your society. So I measured this again using the GDP growth rate, and what we can see from here is that it is mediating the effect of religiosity by making religion less significant, and its value is also decreased from 0.65 to 0.26. And what we can see from here is that economic prosperity is also contributing in positively in the happiness, but its coefficient is very small. Like what you can see from here is that it's 0.0016. That is very like a small amount. So but we can see from all the other channels that this is the smallest amount. So yes, we can say that economic prosperity is very important, but it's not the only factor that is contributing to your well-being or your happiness. So happiness is something that depends on many other factors other than just the economic factors. In all these, as I'm using the system GMM, so you can see that here are the Hansen test stat, and these all stats shows that all the instruments are valid. Next channel is depression, and here you can see that there is the correlation matrix shows that religious person are more prone to depression. So one might be the reason that what the literature suggests you is that the concept of that punishment or the concept of hell makes you more depressed. Like if you are listening to all those sermons that I will like, if you will do this, you will be fined by this thing, and these are the punishments that you will face in your life after death. So it will make you more depressed. Like next is the happiness, and here in this slide, depression and happiness, you can see that if you are more depressed, there are more chances that you are not happy. Here in model 7, what you can see is that although it is mediating the effect of religiosity, but when you will see the coefficient of religiosity, it is introduced by 0.05. So it's really very small amount, and what you can conclude from here is that mental health in itself, it is has a negative impact on your happiness, and it is mediating the effect, but not that significant. So here we can see that, as I had shown you from the previous slides, there the graph, where you can see that depression and this thing is positively linked. So one might be the reason like why it is coming out here in this way, like why it is less, this magnitude of the religiosity has not increased much. So these all are 7 channels, and now in the next slides, I have concluded like how these hypotheses, there are a total of 7 hypotheses that I tested, and from all this, what I can, you can see this slide number 25, I think, and then the next slide. And in all these slides, I have discussed the final results, and from here, what I can conclude is that the channels or the mediators that I chose in this study, in most of the cases except depression, what I can see is that they are actually mediating the effect of religiosity on happiness. So if you are more religious, then there are more chances that you will be more happy. Like it will work like you in a way that you will participate more in the your political participation will increase, and the more you're more religious, that people will have more trust over other people, and they have more connections, and in that way, so religion is affecting your happiness through different channels. So what we can say is that religion is a very important factor, and we should not neglect this in our policy circles. So it is very important that all the policy makers, they should consider religion, because most of the policy makers, what they think is that if there is a more level of health, wealth in your society, then it will make your people more happy. But this is not the case. As I have shown you before, that the coefficient of wealth was 0.00065, and that's really a very small amount, and as compared to all the other channels. And so we can see, what we can see from here is that religion can play a very important role in your society if we take care of it very cautiously. So for that, there is a need to take into confidence all your religious leaders, and if policy makers and religious leaders are on the same page, and they decide policies and they implement things accordingly, there are chances that people will get more benefit out of there. As here I am presenting this paper in the context in School of Architecture. So what my suggestions or recommendation for an architect is that they should consider the importance of religious places, that they can play a role in the level of happiness. So in most of the cases, architects, what they can do in the urban areas, in the cities, is that they should, if they are developing some society, or they are designing some cities, for that they must understand that they should give some space to religion, and they can use religion as a religious places. There's a multi-purpose building, so that that can be a source or that can be a place where people can connect with each other. They can have maybe offices or stuff like that that can help them help the poor, or that through which they can get some information or positive things from there, that positive learning from their form of religion, from the religious leaders, if they are attending things, and there are speech that are not hate speeches, but there are all the speeches that are promoting harmony and peace in the economy and more inclusivity of people in the society, then it will definitely ultimately translate it into a happy society. So, what are my suggestion for an architect is that try to build a religious place in such a manner that is more comfortable, that is more user friendly, and people feel more attracted toward them, and they feel themselves more pushed to go to the religious place so that they can get some eternal peace and happiness. So here I will finish my presentation, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Meera ma'am, for helping her out. And it's very unfortunate that ma'am wasn't there with us. Fatma, would you like to say a few words?
Can you give me 2 minutes?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, here this research is hardcore sociological research. Okay, this is the research, social science research, and the methods she has used are hardcore statistical methods. So maybe some people may not have understood what kind of research method she has used, because she has used various regression models. Regression models are like statistical models to estimate the effects of variable on each other. They are mathematical and statistical models. So you will have to derive those mathematical equations by the research, and that is what she has used. Okay, so later on, if someone wants to understand what kind of models are there and how we can use it, they can contact me. I can explain, though here I don't think we will have time to explain all those things, but later on you can talk to me. Another thing is how she has estimated. I want to explain in 2 3 minutes how what kind of research she has done. What she has done is, see, there are two variables. One is independent variable and one is dependent variable. What that means? That means that one variable impacts another variable. For example, she is using independent variable as religion and dependent variable as happiness. So her research question is whether religion impacts your happiness. So religion impacts happiness. There are two things. Whether religion impacts happiness directly or there are other factors. Because in statistic or in any case, there is very important aspect of ceteris paribus. What that means? All things being equal. Okay, like for example, your intelligence and your school grades, they are related to each other. But then there are other factors. For example, the facilities you will be getting, okay, or your economic situation, so that whether you are going to dedicate your time. So other things also, even though you are two people, they are equally intelligent, but their facilities, their economic status, they impact. So the one person who is privileged may get more grades than other person who is not that privileged. So even though these two things are related to each other, for your intelligence and your grade, but then there is a variable, say your level of privilege. So that is called a channel, mediating channel. So in these kind of channels, so what she has done, what Unbreen has done, as she has estimated 7 channels, like religion and happiness, they may be they are impacting each other. My religion is impacting your happiness, but at the same time, there are 7 channels. For example, your health, your social capital, your economic
Politics.
status, your mental status, etc., etc. So these 7 channels, they are mediating in this relationship. They are mediating, and she has estimated direct impact of religion on happiness also, which is positive, and significant. And she has estimated the effect of these 7 mediating channels also through which this religion is going to impact. That is how she has worked. And her conclusion that is clear that religion plays important role, and architect as space planner, we should consider a role of happiness, a role of religion when we are doing our spatial planning. So I think I tried to explain her research. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Fayat ma'am?
हम लोगों को एंड में इतना समझा कि दरगाहों पे जाएंगे तो सुकून मिलेगा.
हाँ, यही है. ओनली थिंग इज ये करने के लिए उसने मैथमेटिकल मॉडल यूज किया है. हम और हमारे जैसे लोग डायरेक्टली जाके वो क्या बोलते हैं, एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं.
So the moral of the story is, yes, it should be part of our academics also to design the precinct connected to religious places, because interaction with each other, जैसे कि one of our thesis design on crematorium, where different religion can have their burial ceremonies there, and it was published in a COA Unbuilt book, Unbuilt magazine. So how an architect can take sadness also, and how can your space design can have an impact psychologically on him. So whatever we design, we should be so consciously aware of the anthropology, of psychology, of philosophy, and these things actually add value to life. As Unbreen's research shows कि आपके पास पैसा भी हो, तो बहुत पैसा भी हो, तो डायरेक्ट रिलेशन जो है वो हैप्पीनेस से नहीं आता. I am not conflict with her research. I am taking it as it is for the presentation today. So even when we all get up in the morning, it is important that you spend 5 minutes to your own self meditating. If you don't believe in any God, then also you have that sort of 5 minutes to your own self, and you see the difference whole day. Like if I don't do my Fajr namaz, the entire day of mine is disturbed. So that one single namaz, it hardly takes 4 to 5 minutes, but it does do the change in the entire day. So that is the value that she was doing in mathematics, that when you are connected to spirituality, then not considering the negative part also, that is the depression, it does give value addition to your life. And in architecture, it would give value addition to the psychological behavior or mental status of human mind. That is, peace, satisfaction, tranquility, spirituality, things. So I am very grateful to Unbreen that she has shared her presentation with us. I am thankful to you, Meera, that you have introduced Unbreen to us. And definitely we will have, in any of one semester, as a religious space part of our design, at least in an SK or something, that yes, it does give value addition to humans. That's so important. Thank you so much.